Hi students, this is Mr. Matthews. I wanted to take a few minutes and discuss the science fair uh, at Mini Howard, which is next Wednesday the 17th at 8:30 in the morning, first thing, and go over what it is that you're expected to do. If you go to Canvas and you click on our page, all the science fair board and presentation information is here located in the science fair. Once you click on science fair, scroll all the way down to second quarter science fair assignments. So you have this Google Doc button that you should click, and that takes you to a Google folder, and you have all these folders. Now, if you are looking for the science fair board, just look at the folder that says science fair board. Click that open, and again, you're looking for the documents that say science fair board and presentation. So there are three of them. Science fair board rubric. This is just an example, or this paper is just an example of what a board should look like, or a sample board. And here is the presentation. So on Wednesday, when you get to school, you'll report to your STEMX class, and about 10 minutes after the bell rings, you'll be called down to the cafeteria. And I will be down there set up. You will be just like any other science fair. You're going to be assigned a spot to set up in the cafeteria where your board is. So you'll set your board up, and then we'll do 3 rotations or 4 rotations where, and basically it is going to go by STEMX class, where you will present, and everyone else will walk around and hear your presentation and score you. So there's 2 parts to this. There's the display board itself, and if you want to look at the rubric and a copy of what it looks like, you would go to these 2 documents. So let's open up what the display board should look like. This is just a sample. You can really have it set up however you want, but this is just a sample. And if you really want to see some of the older versions of the science fair board, I've got about 15 of them in my room. So please come by, check them out. But this is a typical science fair display board, okay, that you would want to organize. And what I would suggest you do is just take your paper. The hardest part of this is writing the paper. So once you've written your paper, open up a Google Slides or a PowerPoint and copy and paste parts of your paper, not the whole thing, parts of your paper onto a slide. Print those slides out, glue them to the board along with any pictures. You're going to want to have pictures, and that's sort of it. So here's a picture of the display board. And for the rubric, and this is constant, not just in STEM, but for all over TC Williams, and these are things that you're looking for. Okay, so again, include pictures of your experiment. On the day that we have the science fair, if you want to bring in your actual whatever it is you build, I think that adds to the presentation. But these are the things that we are looking for, the criteria for the display board. Okay. So the presentation, as I stated earlier, you will be presenting, and it's small group presentation. So I will arrange you in, if you are not presenting during that group, I will arrange you into a scoring group. Right? And what will happen is your group will rotate to 3 or 4 different science fair boards where you will listen to the presentation and you will score it. And so if you're the presenter, you're actually going to be presenting 3 or 4 different times, right? And be scored by your peers and other teachers that will be walking around. So here's the presentation piece. These are the things that you need to cover. Okay, so a 2 to 3 minute summary of your project. That's about all the time you have. Oh, well, let's just say 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to talk about your project, what it is that you did, your goals, about your data, what built, and then what your conclusions were. So you will need to practice this. Right? Please don't show up on Wednesday having never done your presentation before. Present to the mirror, present to your friends, but practice the presentation. But again, you will be presenting to small groups 3 or 4 different times. Again, I go back to, just to review everything that was discussed, I go back to Canvas. I click on Science Fair, and under second quarter assignments, I click on the Google Docs. And everything is here under the folder display board, science fair display board. You can find all the documents there. But again, the first thing that you need to do now that your paper is complete is to come up with a science fair board. I recommend you create a PowerPoint or a Google slide with parts of your presentation or parts of your board, print those out and glue them to your board. And I say parts because if you just copy and paste your entire paragraph, you're going to get marked off because no one in their right mind is going to come and read your entire paper. So you might need to just take, some highlights. You're highlighting what it is that you want the reader to read. Again, they're only going to be there for 3 minutes, so they need to be able to read everything in 3 minutes. So parts of your paper, right? The important parts. And again, if you want to look at the rubric, here's the board rubric. And then here's the presentation rubric. But please come see me with any questions.